Hello and welcome to the very first edition of Wolvesbane UO podcast. I am Damien, also known as Von Wolvesbane. I'm the owner of the Shard. Together with Lady J and Phoenix, we worked very hard to bring the Shard to you. It all started from myself and another player who no longer is on our Shard. Playing together on a Shard, and the owner just shut it down. It just disappeared one day and it was gone. And they brought it back and then it disappeared again. And I had put money in, I had donated to the Shard, and the server just shut down. And so I decided at that point that I didn't want that to happen again. I didn't want to get invested in another Shard, spend money on it even, and then have it all shut down again. So in the beginning, that player and I got together and started chatting, and I said, I think I could do it. I've run a Shard before. I was nowhere near as good at scripting then as I am now, but we decided that it was something that we wanted to do. He introduced me to Lady J. Jay and I started talking, and along with Joy, who was around at the time, started talking about different ideas for the Shard, what we could do, and the four of us started on this adventure. As we started to build things and get things up and running, that player decided that he really just wanted to be a player and not staff, and Jay and Joy and myself just continued to build the Shard. I was doing the scripting things, making sure that we had it all working and whatnot. Lady J was there with ideas and to help build the player base and handle those, those players' relations things that come up. And then Joy was our deco person back then. Joy's health took a turn for the worse. And so she was around less and less until eventually she just wasn't here anymore. And Lady J and I just kept going. We got Phoenix in. His player name was Reaper. He and I had talked a few times, and he's like, well, I can help you with some scripting things. And then next thing you know, we moved him into staff, and here we are. That happened March of last year was when he came onto staff. I know he's not around a lot right now, but between Lady J and myself, and really Lady J is the one that keeps everything running when it comes to player relations and being around for the players. We've really just done a great job of building a fun little server for you guys to play on, and it's been great. We're getting closer and closer to 2 years now. December 1st will be 2 years, so that'll be great. But I thought this was really a good idea and a great way to kind of give you guys a peek behind the curtain and a heads up on some things that I'm working on for the server. So one thing I did want to talk about was the changes to the world chat. I know that some folks have had some issue with it, and I don't necessarily mean issue in a bad way, but taking away the ability to see the players online by just typing the bracket and then see has proven to be a little bit of a challenge for some folks. But if you use the bracket and then VA, it'll bring up that same list, and so you can see who's online that way. But now we've got world chat going right into our Discord server, so it gives you the opportunity to catch up on things that were said in world chat while you were away from the game, which is really awesome. It gives us, especially even me, when I am busy with my lack of a better term, real job. I can go back and catch up on what was said in the world chat, and maybe it's something I can help out with, or just know what's happening in the game while I'm away. So it's working very well. There haven't been any issues with it, and I think my favorite part of it, honestly, is the online offline statuses that it gives, because that way, when I get up first thing in the morning, I can look and see, does it say we're online? It does. Great, we're online. I don't have to worry about anything right now. And so the world chat going into the Discord server has been great. I wanted to talk about an idea I had, and I know that sometimes new ideas are great, and other times they fall flat. But I was kicking around the idea of a referral bonus, like if you bring in somebody else that you've played with other places and whatnot, maybe we can give you some form of a bonus, whether it be just a deco item, maybe, or maybe just a Wolvesbane dollar or two Wolvesbane dollars, or I don't know, but it's just an idea I had, and I thought maybe it might be worth doing. So the one thing that makes me nervous about doing a referral bonus is I don't want to poach from other shards. Other servers work just as hard as we do to put on a great product and a game for everybody to play, and so I don't want to steal players from somewhere else. That's the last thing I want to do. But if you have friends from the game that you've played with in the past, maybe even on the OSI shards, there's nothing wrong with bringing them over or saying, hey, why don't you come check out where I'm playing now? But I definitely do not want to poach. I've felt in the past that we've had poachers come in here and take some of our players, and it's really a challenge for an owner when you have a good group of players and somebody new comes in and starts a guild or whatever, and people start joining it, and you're like, oh, this is great. They're all building a community, and then that person leaves and everyone goes with them. And so, I don't want that to happen to another server or another shard. But I do think that a referral bonus may be a good way to get some new players here, some new blood, see some new names, etc. So, that's, like I said, it's something I'm kicking around. I haven't gotten an idea as to what exactly I want it to be, but a referral bonus I think is a really good idea. I also wanted to let you guys know that starting next Monday, so that'll be August 9th, we will have a new tameable in. We will have the tameable fairy that'll be spawned on the shard. I will tell you that for Patreons, there will be one spawn in the Patreon dungeon, but there will also be a spawn somewhere in the world of Wolvesbane. So you'll be able to get it whether you're a Patreon or not, but the Patreons will be able to get it in the Patreon dungeon, and every other player will be able to find it somewhere in the world. If I notice that there's not a whole lot of them running around and people aren't getting them, I might start an event where we'll give hints, and as we give hints, you guys will be able to have a better chance of finding where the fairy is going to spawn. The Patreon dungeon, although it'll have a fairy spawn in it, the fairy spawn will be very long in between spawns, so that we don't get overrun with them, because the Patreons, obviously the Patreon dungeon is not huge. They'd be able to find it real easy and sell a bunch on vendors or whatever, and the next thing you know, everybody's got a fairy, and what's the point at that point? So we will have the tameable fairy starting on Monday, and you'll be able to find it in the regular world along with in the Patreon dungeon. But again, in the Patreon dungeon, it's going to have a slow spawn rate. I'm not going to give out exactly what that spawn rate is, but just know that it will be a slow spawn rate. Then last but not least, my big project that I'm working on right now that I'm hoping to release by the end of next week, but I'm not quite sure if I'm going to get there or not, is that gargoyle crafting that I've mentioned in the Discord channel. I know that gargoyles are something that not a lot of players make, and the reason for that is there's not a lot of custom armors for them and whatnot. And here, honestly, we don't even have a ton of custom armors. We just have the Evo set, and that's it. So I wanted to give an incentive to the gargoyle players that we have, and maybe even get some new players trying gargoyles in the future. So there will be gargoyle crafting, and there's a part of it that I'm going to keep a secret for right now until it's released. But the other half of that will be that you'll be able to craft gargoyle pickaxes, gargoyle axes, and gargoyle knives if you're a gargoyle using gargoyle crafting. It's going to be a high cost to craft those things, because I don't want them to overrun the shard. But I do want to give some incentive to making a gargoyle player. So That's the part that I'm going to tell you about. There is going to be another part of gargoyle crafting that I'm not going to share yet. When it's released, you guys will get a chance to see that. And that's it. That's what I have for announcements and, a catch up as to what's been going on recently. I will say that in the future, I want to do some fun things with this podcast or video diary or whatever you want to call it. These videos will be on the YouTube channel and then also posted as video and as just audio on the website in the blog section. But in the future, I want to do some fun things, like I said. So one thing I was thinking about was having players that have been here for a while do interviews, and maybe they interview me or I interview them, or we just kind of interview each other. Another thing I thought of was having like an in-character mailbag where, your player in character can send mail to the owner, Von Wolvesbane, and then I can answer it, almost like maybe a Dear Abby or any of those advice column kind of things, just to kind of have some fun with this. But I really think that this is a great interactive tool that'll help bring more people in as we continue to develop the Shard. I want to make sure that we continue to bring new content so that we don't get stagnant, we don't lose players, because it's the same old kind of a thing. I know that, as people have played here, I've heard a lot about, drop rates being low, or, man, the bosses are so hard, I can't kill anything. And that's how it was designed. It's supposed to be low drop rate, because if you get everything from the beginning, what's the point of playing more than a month here? Another thing with the bosses being so hard, you have to figure out the strategy, and it's actually not the same strategy for every boss. I know that some folks have figured out that shield bash is very useful, but it's not useful on every boss. So I just want to make sure that people are trying different things, sharing those best practices, the things that work on this boss but don't work on that boss. And again, we're going to continue to bring new content to the game. So as, we continue to develop, I want to continue to have more new things here. So just keep an eye on the YouTube channel, keep an eye on the blog section on the website. You'll see more videos or audio posted, and you'll get to catch up on those things. Until next time, I am Von Wolvesbane, also known as Damien. I am the owner of the Shard. I've had a lot of fun doing this. Like I said, we're almost at 2 years, and it's been great. So for those of you that are playing here now, thank you so much for everything that you do. For those of you that have played in the past and are coming to check it out again, or just happen across the video, thank you for giving my server a chance. I know that it's not for everyone. And, the fact that we don't have any PvP here. I know some folks wish that there was some player versus player aspect to the game. We've kicked around the idea. We've thought about it. Maybe it's something that'll come in the future. It's really honestly just a switch to flip, for lack of a better term. But it's something we don't have right now that maybe we could offer in the future. And again, like I said, we want to continue to bring new or different content than we already have now. So please, like I said, keep an eye on the YouTube channel and the blog on the website. And if you have questions, comments, concerns, Discord, you can get a hold of me through there. You can send me an email at von@wolvesbaneuo.com. Until next time, I'm Von Wolvesbane. Take care.